What is up, everyone? Episode 3 of DPF on Tap. Getting right into it. So, what if I told you over the weekend that the Phillies outscored their opponents 24-11? You'd be really happy, right? But then they lost 2 of 3. You cannot lose 2 of 3 to the Nats. Just absolutely abominable effort in the field, and I think it's costing them more and more games. The Schwarber Marsh debacle, it's like Keystone Cops out there. I would almost say to Marsh, just catch everything you can. Don't question if, Kyle's going to run into you. He's not going to, because, he has, this kind of circle of influence, which is not really big, probably, 2 feet in diameter. Just go and get it. The 19 runs, I went to the game. It was super fun. My daughter and it was her first game that she was able to score, and she saw every possible scoring capability there. It was, pretty amazing when you consider, batting around in the 5th, and I had to explain, all right, well, they give you an extra line, and we're going to have to cross out 6 and make it 5, and then down and down the line. But just can't have these errors of mental errors. And I think another mental error was Ranger Suarez cruising along, doing fine, and then he got into that Nola-esque situation. Cawthon came out, apparently said, Ranger, throw the next one over the fucking middle, so that Stone Gossard, and I don't know how this dude has enough time to be playing guitar for Pearl Jam and hitting grand slams against the Phils, but threw it right over the goddamn plate, and that was it. The Phillies kind of just shut it down after that. So not good enough. Cubs sweep, great. The loss to the Nats, 2 out of 3, unacceptable. So what do you got, Chris?
The Cubs series, obviously, that's great. We were all hoping for 2 out of 3 in that series and to go in and sweep the Cubs. And I think the story of that series was really to start pitching. I mean, you had Suarez going 7 in the 3rd, only giving up one earned run. Nola doing his Nola thing, giving up 4 earned runs in 5 innings. But the Phillies bats kind of bailed him out, putting up an 8 spot in that game. Walker continues to be excellent, another 6 innings with 1 earned run. We had the opening night, Marsh, 2 bombs, really got the offense going. Schwarber in the 3rd game, leadoff home run, kind of set the tone there. But then you get to that Nats series, and it's the same old story. I mean, they had an opportunity to win all 3 of those games. They should have won all 3. The first game, I mean, how do you lose 2-1 to the fucking Nationals? I mean, how can you not put up more than 1 run on the fucking Nationals? And that's a shame because, Christopher Sanchez really pitched a good game, and he deserved better. In the 2 starts he's had since he's come back, he's deserved better in both those starts. And the offense has let him down. At the 19 runs, woohoo, let's have a party, yay. And then you come out, the next game, and again, 3 double plays, wasted opportunities, really a couple chances to blow that game open, and they just never did it. And the starting pitching in that series was not great. Like you said, Ranger did his Nola impression. Wheeler, I'm still concerned. I'm getting very concerned about Wheeler because he's not that guy. He'll have 1 dominant start and then 3,
Is he hurt?
I don't know if he's hurt or just was overextended last year or what, but you think at this point, it's concerning that, our top 2 pitchers have not been our top 2 pitchers.
Yeah.
And that concerns me going forward. We need those guys to step up. You can't depend on Ranger being this great, and you saw he had a hiccup, the other day. Walker, you can't depend on him continuing to dominate. And then, your 5th starter spot, as good as Sanchez has been, I don't think you can depend on him, giving you consistent innings. Overall, I'm disappointed that they only won 4 out of those 6, especially taking a sweep from the Cubs.
Mike, where are you at with this?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. You guys covered some of them, but Walker at 9-3 is our ace, clearly. I think you're onto something, Chris. Wheeler seems to get a dead arm about now until September. I don't understand how that happens to him, but I am concerned about that. The Cubs series, Marsh and Nicky Two Buttons were hot, and Schwartz hits another leadoff homer on the first pitch. which we've all discussed a ton of times how that works, and can't even figure it out. But the one play that JT made in the ninth, where he came up the line, kind of dove and shovel past to first to get that out, that was huge, man. Because we only won that game by 2. We were only up 2 at the time, and I think that's kind of a saver there. As far as the Nats go, the hit parade in game 2 was great. Everything else was horrible. I do want to go back, though. I don't know that that's 100% Rangers' fault, guys. So think about if they actually catch the ball and he doesn't have 14 extra pitches in that inning. I heard LA talking about it, and it makes a ton of sense. Chris, you've pitched before, right? If you're going along, you've got 3 outs, and now you're giving up another out. You're going through. I think he threw 25 pitches, 26 pitches that inning, and he should have thrown like 11 or 12. So as bad as it was, I think not all on him. It's all on the defense too. And then Nicky All-Star gets a nod. Can we ring the bell for Nicky All-Star?
Moving on to John.
There you go.
So John wanted to ring the bell, and this isn't his first ring the bell, but little Nicky 3 button. Let's hear it for We were all gonna wear jerseys today and have just 3 buttons on, but this is PG-13, and we didn't want to get everyone hot and bothered either with us studs on. John, where were you at with this last series?
I was hoping for 2 of 3. I was glad when we got the sweep. When we got the sweep against the Cubs, I'm like, we're steamrolling the Nationals. And then Sanchez pitches that good game, like you guys mentioned. I don't know how we can't hit off Josiah friggin' Gray. Like, he's not like Cy Young. I really couldn't figure that out. The bats didn't help Sanchez that game. Like, Walker, he's got to step up. Ranger got rocked a little bit, but, he'll come back from that. But what I noticed in the Cubs series, a lot more hitting at the bottom of the order than the top. A lot of the guys, like 6 through 9, came through, whereas the top guys were just floundering a little bit in that series. But that barrage on Saturday was beautiful, but they scored 4 yesterday. Not enough.
Yeah, it was, talking about Ranger, like, does this dude have a pulse? Did you see that one where it was the comebacker to him? And he, literally, read the ball, counted the stitches, and then threw it over. Like, I love that, but it's almost a little too dickish. And, I'm huge on dickish. I loved it. Wait a minute.
Whoa,
that's not what I meant.
Whoa. Check, please. I'm out of here.
But I love, kind of like his demeanor out there, where he doesn't get too high or too low.
But what I think, though, where you saw that pulse was, like Mike was saying, that ball drops in between Marsh and Schwarber, and instead of being 2 outs, nobody on, he kind of lost his composure a little bit there. And he wasn't as crisp, and then he leaves one out over the plate, and boom, a 3-0 lead now turns into a 4-3 deficit. And so I think something like that, pitching, when you throw an out, you expect it to be an out, and it can be deflating to a pitcher when you see an obvious out, drop in for a hit. And like Mike said, he was cruising along there, and then all of a sudden, now he's got to work a little harder. He's got to be in the stretch. And maybe that pulse ticked up a little bit, and his adrenaline got a little going, and he left some balls flat. And, so that's where, the defense really can affect the pitcher's, attitude and his persona and the way he's carrying himself on the mound. You can kind of, really sabotage a whole inning, but with a bad defensive play.
That's another question. You were saying, is Wheeler hurt? I had heard something online, but I had no time to research today. Someone mentioned something. Ranger might have pulled his groin. Is that true?
They were talking about it.
Anybody hear about that?
They were talking about it on the game.
Yeah.
But he stayed in.
I hope that's not true.
I don't think it was an early exit because of an injury. I think it was just because of ineffectiveness.
Yeah, that too.
But hopefully, I haven't heard anything since then. They mentioned on the game they thought he might have slipped.
Yeah, I heard a blip about it, but I didn't get a chance to research it.
I haven't heard anything since, so fingers crossed that's not.
Prayers for Ranger.
Yeah, but that's not.
Need him.
Something.
Moving on to the next series. So the Phils are going down to Florida, which has, been their kryptonite. last year they did decent against the Marlins, finally, but they're also playing the Rays, who have, I think they're already at 100 wins at this point. I am super excited for July 4th game. Number one, because the Phillies haven't played for July 4th. It seems like in
Couple
tons
years
of
or so,
years.
yeah, like a
it's
few
like,
years. Yeah.
I don't know, baseball, beer,
Memorial Day too.
and it's something that I really can't wait. And the pitching matchup is exciting too, because it's Nola versus Eflin. So, like, of all of the games, I'm excited about this one because I think, like, Nola has something to prove, and so does Eflin. He has maybe a chip on his shoulder that, like, hey, you gave me up, and I'm going to show you who I am. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm worried about the fourth inning. I'm worried about the third inning. I'm worried about the second inning with Nola. If you ask for predictions, like, I don't know. I hope Arias doesn't have, 20 hits in the 3 games. Part of me, wants him to hit 400, just not against us. I think getting 2 wins is success down there. I don't see anything more than that. And I'm normally like a 3-win guy or 4. But I don't know. I feel like I have to temper my expectations on this road trip. I think 2 wins I'm not happy about, but I think that's what's going to happen. So, Mike, where are you at?
Yeah, I think you have to watch for this Eflin chip on your shoulder that you were talking about. I started when I dove into some stats. I think he has the ability to, with a little bit of extra incentive from his former team, to really be a problem in that game. So honestly, looking forward to Miami. It's before the All-Star break, right? Every year, I feel like, thinking back, we kind of limp into the All-Star break. I think we need to take these last 2 series and get some momentum as we go in. We need our stars to become stars. Harper and Turner and JT they kind of got their heads up their ass right now, and they got to get them out and start delivering. And I say, prediction-wise, I'm going to be we're going to win 2-2, Rays and Miami, so 4-2. John, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think we need the pitching to step up. Like Chris said, 4th of July, Nola versus Eflin, so that's like Mr. Ass versus Mr. Glass. But yeah, Eflin might have a chip on his shoulder. Need the pitching to step up and last long. I'm worried about Nola in any inning. I'm worried about him before the game starts.
Yeah.
Like batting practice. But I hope he can give us a good 7 at least or something tomorrow. Give me 6. Don't burn the bullpen too much. I'm tired of hearing it's still early, whatever. We're almost in the half point of the season now with the All-Star game coming up. Time to put your big boy pants up. The bats have to, be consistent. Pitching needs to step up, and just this is a real test this week, Tampa Bay and Florida. Florida, I'm not really scared about as much as other people are. Like, I know they're in second place and all that, but we play Alcantara pretty well. They have good pitching, but I mean, I'm thinking like 4 out of 6 at least, and that's what I want. I'm thinking we might only steal 1 from Tampa Bay, but I'm trying to be positive and say 4 out of 6.
Yeah, I mean, going down Tropicana Field, stadium looks like a toilet, and the Phillies play like shit when they go down there. So they're 9-19 since 2000 against the Tampa Bay Rays, and Tampa Bay hasn't been good all those years. They've been real good recent, nice stretch. They haven't been good all those years. The Phillies just don't play well down there. Tampa coming in 57-30, not quite 100 wins yet, Chris, but they're well on their way. 5-5 in their last 10. The Phils are 6-4. The Phils are coming off a great June. I think they were 18-8 in June.
It was a really good month.
So hopefully, like Mike said, we're not limping into the All-Star break like we typically do. I'm excited about the Marlins series because not only are we chasing them in the division, they're the number one wild card team. So we have some extra incentive to really play well down there.
Make up some ground.
Make up some ground. Yep. Right before the All-Star break, make up some ground, go get a couple days off, and then come back ready to go after the All-Star break. I mean, 2 big games for Nola coming up. He's going to pitch in both these series.
Yeah.
He'll pitch the first game against Tampa, and then he'll, assuming they stay on rotation, they don't change anything, he'll pitch the last game before the All-Star break. So 2 big starts. I'm really looking for Nola to step up. Like, I'm so tired of watching the same nonsense with Nola. Phillies spot him 5 runs the other night, and he comes back and gives up 4. And I can't have it. I just can't. It gives me the fucking shakes every goddamn time he's on the mound.
Yeah.
But he's got 2 big starts against 2. The Rays are a really good team. The Marlins were chasing him. He needs to step up. So I mean, I'm kind of with you, Chris. I'm like, I don't have high hopes for these 2 series. I have a lot of excitement to watch because I don't get to see the Rays much, and they're an exciting baseball team. So I enjoy watching good baseball teams play baseball. So I think if we get 3, I'd be happy at 500. I'd be settle for 2, but I'd be happy at 500 on these 6 games.
I think, we're all kind of like hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst is kind of like what we're hearing.
And I think, though, if they would have swept the Nationals, we'd all be going, fuck it, they're winning 6 games.
We'd be on the train. Like,
I think this weekend really has tempered our expectations going into these last 6 games.
I mean, Nola has to be excited about pitching 3 important games upcoming. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to face the Marlins, he's going to face the Rays, and then we just got words, I was just on the net here, that he's actually pitching the home run derby. They're going to tell Nola that it's an 0-2 pitch each time, and, I figure he's going to groove it, so, like, all the home run hitters, I think we're going to see an absolute bomb fest on this at 0-2. The next thing we wanted to talk about was kind of superstition. So I think, we were talking beforehand, some of us have superstitions, some of us don't. So I'm going to go and just start with Mike, because I know Mike is one of the more ones that do. And then Mike, transition to John or Dugan, because they're the ones that don't as much as you and I. And I'll kind of leave how much you and I have the superstitions.
Yeah, so how much time we have left? So this all kind of goes back to playing ball growing up, okay? So if my mom was around right now, I could get her on, and she would tell a story about every single practice and every single game. I have this thing where I had to be in an hour and a half early. She would drop me off and then go home and then come back if it was a game to watch, because I wanted to be there so early. There was nobody there. But I thought, and this, you guys all played at one point or another, so there is such thing as baseball gods, and they get pissed off if you don't do things like you're supposed to. So that was my first thing. I had to be there early. Next thing is, you're going to laugh, but left sock first, left stirrup, left cleat, then right sock, right stirrup, right cleat. I don't know why, but one day I had a good game, and I shit you not, 40 years later, I still put my left sock on first and my left shoe on first, my right sock on second, and my right shoe on second. It's crazy. Same thing. I think Dugan, you were talking about this, but had to have the same T-shirt under my uniform, right? Either a T-shirt or sleeves. Chris, we played a few games in Queens in the snow, if you remember, but obviously washing them and all that stuff, but had to be the same exact ones. And by the end of the year, they're destroyed. Sliding pants, same thing. When I tell you, I know this for a fact, that when I was going bad, it was because one of these things wasn't done right. Another one is never walking, or when you're trotting out or off the field, never step on the chalk line. If you did that, there is a whole nother thing that you had to do to undo it. So kind of like that scene in Bull Durham, you needed to get sacrifice a chicken. and then switching over to like watching sporting events, specifically the Phillies, Eagles, not so much the Flyers and Sixers, but like if I know that they're winning and I haven't watched it because maybe I'm at work or I'm doing something with the kids or my wife, I won't turn that on because I don't want my bad juju to mess them up, right? Conversely, if they're losing, I immediately turn it on because I think that I can change that around and they'll come back and win. So I'm telling you, there's the other weird ones. Like if I fold towels, the label has to fold in. I could be on here for hours, guys, but those are a few of the ones from when I played and when I watch baseball specifically.
You might need some medication, Mike. You might they got medicine for that, man. There you go. There you go.
With 20 side effects.
There you go.
What do you think, John? You got any?
When I was playing, I only played from like T-ball till I was about 12 or 13 or so. The only thing I would hope is that the coach's punk kid would get hurt so I could play. And I don't like to do it anyway on every team. But no, other than that, I really don't have any. But it was funny. Carter Hart from on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok and all. We've met up with him at tailgates and all. I was standing with him at the game the other day, and they started rocking like the ball, and he's like, "You can't leave. The costume's good luck." So he's like, "You're my superstition." I'm like, "Cool." So I just stayed there, and he kept tweeting, "Oh, 10 runs, 12 runs since John Kruk's been here." I'm telling the people behind me, I can't go anywhere. They told me I can't leave.
Yeah, you had to use the bathroom, but you're
right. I was like, so maybe I was their good luck charm. But I mean, me personally, I really don't have any other than, hoping the coach's kid got hurt. But that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, Mike mentioned mine, when I played through high school, college, even some men's league. If I was going well, I would keep the same T-shirt underneath my jersey. Same batting gloves all year if I was going well. If I started hitting like shit, I'd go out and buy new batting gloves because it was obviously the batting gloves' fault, not mine.
Clearly.
My swing was perfect. The batting gloves were screwing me up. Watching a game, I had a funny thing happen last year with my daughter. We were watching the Phillies-Cardinals game 1 of the wild card, and we were the only two home. We're down in the basement watching the game, and the Phillies were losing going into the 9th inning, and she had to go to the bathroom, but she was kind of doing the pee dance. She didn't want to go in because she wanted to watch the game, So I'm like, just go to the bathroom. I'll yell in what's going on. So they start having that epic inning where they, base hit, Bohm gets hit by a pitch. We're scoring runs, and I hear her jiggling the door handle to come out. And I said, "Yo, don't you fucking come out of there!" I said, "Because they started scoring since you came in."
Put her in the bathroom.
Put her in the bathroom.
Stick them in the bathroom.
She sat in on the toilet for that entire 9th inning, and I just yelled, "Ball 1, strike, ground ball to short." Whatever the play. I did play-by-play in my Harry Cowles voice for her so that she could hear what was going on in the game. And that's kind of been our thing. Whenever the Phillies are going bad, I'll yell at her, "Go in the bathroom." Just go in the bathroom. I'll yell what's going on. And like as far as like Eagles games or whatever, the past couple of years, the Eagles have been really good with the Super Bowl run. And last year, running to the Super Bowl, I'll wear the same jersey, T-shirt, sit in the same spot on the couch, and everybody's got to be in the same spot. Play the Rocky song before the Eagles start, and Dreams and Nightmares and all that. We got a whole little playlist that we got to play before the Eagles games, but. So it's fun, whatever gets you mentally ready to play a game or watch a game is good in my book,
right.
So that's pretty much what I got.
Oh man, so I have a problem, and superstition's one of them, and it's just really bad. I'll kind of split it up into two. One is like, as a player, and now, as a non-player and as, a watcher. So as a player, Mike, the left, everything goes on left first. I did the same exact thing. It always happens, and I feel like the world could end if I put my right sock on first. It's just, I don't know why. So, like, we're the same on that. After I would throw my last warm-up pitch, I would want it to go, kind of like, they throw it down to second, it goes around the horn. I could not be on the mound when I caught the ball from the third baseman. So that was one of them. I did not like being on the dirt itself. I also would want the third baseman to not just throw a fastball to me. So throw a knuckler, throw a slider, something. And it got annoying to them. Bob File loved it because this dude would rip off sliders, throw knucklers, and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, Bob, my God, I just wanted you to kind of I just didn't want a fastball, just kind of lob it in there. I wouldn't allow the umpire to throw the ball back to me. I just didn't like it. It was the catcher or no one. So if the ump would throw it back, I would not catch it. I would not be rude to him and just let it go by me, because we've seen some pitchers do that. I would kind of let it hit my glove and drop it, and I'd have to pick it up. I have no idea why. Not stepping on the lines, that was 100% something I just couldn't do. I just didn't agree with. I don't know why. I wouldn't hop over it, but I wouldn't touch them. Without getting too long, because mine are expansive as playing, it really gets ugly. You know this if you follow this page. I did not bathe for a portion during the run in the playoffs, and I'm not bullshitting you. I literally did not.
I was
bathe.
At a lot of games.
He was here. Who knows?
It was pretty funky.
I was
it was pretty funky.
If you had a Geiger meter, I was definitely ripe. But they were winning, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't wash the win off me. As we were going to the World Series games, I would do the same, kind of routine, and it was use the same shampoo, the same soap, you wash everything in the same way, you wear the same hat. It just gets ugly, and I feel you feel like you're kind of locked into doing this, because in my head, and I'm not shitting you, and Mike, you're maybe more like this, I feel like they might do bad because I didn't do this. Oh shit, I didn't use the fucking bourbon shampoo, and I didn't have 15 beers yesterday. Fuck, I had 15 beers the day before. They didn't win, and that's why I only had 14. So it's just it's overwhelming. I definitely feel handcuffed at times, and I wouldn't change a thing because I do love it.
I'm glad we called this superstitions and not OCD, but that's what it is.
Well, yeah, it's. So what we're going to move into now is the Phils Make Me Drink segment. So who wants to kick this one off? Who has the one?
I'll kick this one.
All right.
So, what made me drink in these last 6 games is the Phillies' continual failure with runners in scoring position. So that first game against the Nats, it was relatively early in the game. I want to say the 3rd or 4th inning. Turner leads off with a double, steals third. He's on third with no outs, and you have Castellanos, Harper, Realmuto coming up. And it's pop-up, strikeout, pop-up. And I've never seen a team this bad with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. I mean, in any situation, you hit a ground ball, even a double play scores a run in certain situations,
yep.
And they end up striking out or popping up or hitting a shallow fly ball that you can't tag up on. And it's constant. It's every game, other than the one where they have a 19 run game. But these games are all winnable if they just get 1 or 2 clutch hits. Not even clutch hits, productive outs.
Yeah.
Make a productive out that scores a run. Stop trying to fucking hit the ball 400 feet every swing. Hit a little fucking dribbler to the shortstop that scores that runner from third, and you're going to win a hell of a lot more games than you lose. Because our pitching staff has been pretty damn good. Our bullpen, as much as we make fun of it and as much as we, malign it, they're one of the top bullpens in the National League. They have their outings where they go out and they get blown up. But for the most part, Soto, Alvarado, Kimbrel, these guys are all coming in and throwing shutout innings when they come in. So it's the hitting that really has been the biggest problem for the Phillies this year. And then the other is just my guy out in left field. It's just It's horrendous. It is horrendous. He is the most unathletic player on the field. He makes Reese Hoskins look like a Gold Glover from when he was out in the left field, a couple years ago. He doesn't get to balls. He intimidates the other outfielders when he's out there because he's so unathletic. They think he's going to run into them, going after a fly ball. And Marsh pulls up on that one the other day. It's just he's killing our pitching staff. They're not going down his errors because he's not getting to the ball, but there are outs every game that drop in that are causing our pitchers to work a lot harder than they need to, throw extra pitches, and get into the bullpen earlier than we should be. And it just, at this point, it's time to just take the Band-Aid off Harper and put him out in at first base or put him in left field. I don't care. You got to get Schwarber out of the field and DH him because he's a liability, and no freaking World Series contender can have a guy like that out in the outfield. That's all I got. Now I'm going to drink because he pissed me off talking.
So who you want to spin it to?
I'll give it to John.
Kyle fucking Schwarber, man. Watching that guy play left field is like the ending credits of the Benny Hill show. It's like and like all running
Minus
all around.
The boobs. Minus the girls.
Minus the girls in the
don't
booth.
run that fast, even in sped up motion. You don't run that fast.
Yeah, it's like and the ball's bouncing around and all. It's just atrocious to watch. Like, it's almost like the trade deadline's coming up. Everybody's like, "Oh, I want Goldschmidt. I want pitching." Dude, give me a left fielder. Try to find a trade for a left fielder somehow. And when you move Harper to first, you move Schwarber to just DH all year. And I mean, and you can have Pache be the fourth outfielder. I got no problem with that. But he's got to get out of there. Like, too many costly drops. He's not getting the balls in time. And with the hitting's driving me nuts too. Just the lack of hitting, I should say, when they go up there all the time and swinging for the fences instead of just making contact. Make contact, get on base, drive a run in, steal a base once in a while. The quicker guys, not Schwarber, Jesus Christ. But Sal works ain't stealing no bases. But yeah, like, it just drives me nuts. Like, give me a nice little liner, give me a single, give me a double. Move guys over, drive guys in. You don't have to do that golf swing every damn time. Like, I don't know what Kevin Long's teaching them, or maybe it's just in their head. I don't know, but it's just driving me nuts.
So I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to spin it over to Mike. So I wonder, in the future here, like, and this should be tomorrow, the next day, within a week. Like, what is the interview process for the left fielder for the Phillies? Hey, can you hit 200? Oh, you can? Check. Hey, can you catch a routine fly ball? Awesome. Sign you up. Like, and then the Schwarber thing, like, everyone talks about it. Here's the dude, like, I am sick and fucking tired of Turner getting a fucking pass. This dude is doing nothing. He's fucking terrible in the field right now. Sig wanted Spittle. You're going to get Spittle in this one. I am sick of it. Like, I am sick and fucking tired of this dude hitting 250 and getting a pass. Fucking Turner is fucking terrible right now. I don't think he's always going to be terrible, but he deserves our wrath just as more as anyone else. Yeah. 0 for 5, 0 for 4, 0 for 5, the dude hitting 250. Yo, this dude is not fucking slump proof. That's what we heard. Trey Turner's slump proof. He hits 330, 300. This dude is horrendous right now. Figure it the fuck out. I'm sick of Trey Turner and the fucking nonsense with him. Mike, on to you for your last, and then you can go into your the dumbass is what I was thinking.
Sounds good. Yeah. The only thing I'll add, because Dugan looked at my notes, I think. The only thing I'll add is Schwarber's defense is offensive to me, and the other thing is it's rubbing off on everybody else. I think, John, you just said it. They're afraid that he's going to crash into them, so they're not going after balls more aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all I'll add to those two. I mean, hitting, I had that down too, but Dugan, you were very eloquent when you covered the double by Turner, stole third, nobody out, and we still didn't score. So I'll go to the dumbass of the week, guys. Listen to this. This is like, this shit makes me absolutely insane. There's 4 guys this week. This doesn't have anything to do with baseball. Sorry. There's 4 guys this week. 2 from the Colts, 1 from Tennessee Titans, and a free agent that got suspended indefinitely because they were betting on the NFL. Rashad Berry, Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, Isaiah Rodgers, and Demetrius Taylor, right? Listen to this. Demetrius Taylor makes $454,000. Rashad Berry, $895,000. Nicholas Petit-Ferrer, $952,000, and Isaiah Rodgers, $3.4 million. Do you know these were $25 bets? One guy did it.
Wow.
One guy did $1,000 parlay, but most of these bets that these guys got suspended for an entire year, where they will not make that money that I just talked about, is over a $25 bet. They are truly the dumbasses of the week. You got one there, Chris?
Well, I don't know. I feel like the dumbass of the week has to be like yours, and like that's like your thing. So like that one, like we can't even combat with that. But you know,
that's just wild.
That's shameful. What I was thinking is that we would move into like, so what we decided to do is on the farm. So each of us were going to kind of talk about some random player, and like we all talk, so we made sure that like we're not talking about the same guy. But I'm going to talk first about Simone Muzziotti. So let me give you some numbers. So, or you know, just a background. So he's 24 years old. He's from Venezuela. He was signed by the Red Sox in 2015, but they had some international signing scandal where like they had to give him up, and he eventually went to the Phillies. So he's been with the Phillies since 2016. He did not play in like 2020, most of 2021, and one was like the COVID year. The other was due to like some visa issues, which is I don't understand it, and I don't need to or want to. But listen to what this dude's doing this year. He has a .351 batting average. His on base percentage is .407. He's leading off mostly for Lehigh Valley at this point. 882 OPS. 19 stolen bases, 4 home runs, 36 RBIs. Dude's a plus defender. So he's a center fielder. Where is he going to go? He's not going to play here unless they're going to trade Marsh, and he's going to take over or trade Pache. Like, this dude has to be playing in the major leagues somewhere. I think he's the #1 trade target as far as position players in the minor leagues. 24 years old, just killing the ball. And, you know, because Robbie the Wizard Thompson doesn't love to, play lefty-righty, like, this guy's a left-handed hitter. He's hitting .303 against lefties and .372 against righties. This dude deserves to play. He's blocked here. He either has to be trade bait or they're going to trade someone else here. So that's kind of what I think. John, who do you have?
I went with Carlos De La Cruz. I really liked what I seen. I was paying attention to him a little bit last year in the minors. I liked what I seen from him at Reading. In spring training this year, they had him playing mostly first, which I liked. You know, trying to groom another first baseman somewhere, because we really don't have it. It's very thin at the minor league ranks. But he plays both outfield and first base. He's 6'8", 210. So, like, if you got him at first base, you're not overthrowing that dude. Like, that dude's just like, doink.
That's something to mention, 6'8".
Yeah, a 6'8" first baseman would be nice to have. But he can play the outfield, too. Had a rough week this week. I mean, only 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk. But overall, he's leading Reading in home runs, 14. He's got 37 RBIs. 287 average, and he's got an 845 OPS. I'm thinking, like, I know first base is really not blocked right now. Like, we don't know about Reese. And if they do bring Reese back, what I think, my assumption is a 1-year prove-it deal, which is not going to be expensive. Mm-hmm. and depending on that. But after that, I mean, this kid's probably ready to come up in 2 years or so. So why not, play him mostly at first? I mean, he could play outfield too, and he's good at outfield too, and he's a good hitter. But like Mike mentioned in our group chat earlier, a little more fire under him, and he could be a really good player. He's got power. So I'm looking to see what the kid can do from here on out.
Chris, who you have?
Yeah, I went with a little bit of a longer term prospect. He's ranked number 11 in the Phillies system. He's 18 years old. He's a shortstop, William Bergala. He's playing with the Thrashers right now. He's a 5'11", 165 shortstop. Bats left, throws right. The Phillies signed him as an international free agent in 2022. His father, same name, William Bergala, had a cup of tea with the Reds in 2005. Last year, he played in the Dominican Summer League, hit 380 in the Summer League, and not small sample size, only 71 at-bats. But in those 71 at-bats, he only struck out 3 times. So he's got great bat-to-ball skills, and that's what the scouts are talking about, how he makes contact. He's a real good contact hitter. They don't think he's going to have much power, not a big power guy, but he's a gap-to-gap, doubles kind of, line drive hitter. This year he's at Clearwater, he's hitting 255, and then again, another impressive, only 6 Ks and 55 at-bats down at Clearwater. And some of the scouts, they talk about obviously his outstanding bat-to-ball skills. They say he's got great hands and quick feet, and he's very instinctive at shortstop. They think he has enough arm to continue to be a shortstop. But, if this kid's that good, and, with Turner being here for 11 years, maybe someone that can maybe move positions, shift over to second base, or maybe they try and turn him into the outfielder, which the Phillies seem to love to do with infielders. But he seems like he's number 11 prospect in the system, and I just like guys that put the bat on the ball and don't strike out. So those are pretty impressive numbers, 9 strikeouts and 120 something at bats, between the Summer League and Clearwater. So he's somebody to keep an eye on, I think.
Mike, who you got?
Yeah, I went deep in our system too, also with the Thrashers. Gentleman named Jordan Disson. He's number 7. Reason I picked him and dove into his stats a little bit is because he's a hometown boy. He grew up in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. He's 21 years old. He was the 362nd pick in round 12 2 years ago. And so he played in rookie ball last year for only 10 games, but he hit 353 in those 10 games. Also, this year, now he's 37 games. He's got 128 at bats, right? But he's hitting 289, 406 on base percentage, also 406 slugging, and an 812 OPS. So my thought process here was, let's talk about a guy who grew up around the Phillies organization, and we have one of the best catchers in the league, right? So my thought process is how does JT help this guy along in his career, when they're together in Florida, or just kind of a mentor relationship with someone who's just starting out their career. I'm going to keep track of this kid. He looks pretty good.
Cool. So the last thing that we're going to kind of talk about today is, Mike, what's your 4th of July plans? What do you do?
So I'm coming to you. Yeah, I'm coming to you live from Alger, Michigan. Because, buying a house, selling a house, and moving in the next 10 days, why not take an 11-hour drive? So we're here with friends. This is we think this is the 8th year in a row that we've done the 4th of July thing here. Great lake house, great people, lots of beers, lots of bourbons that it seems like everybody has a niche, right? So my buddy Dan is really into wine. My buddy Lance is into bourbon, and I bring all the beers from like New England IPAs. We do a lot of bago up here. Some people call it cornhole. That makes me nervous, so I call it bago. And just kind of relax, go out on the pontoon boat. We were out on the boat earlier today. And we cooked tons of food. Like we did 2 briskets overnight last night, and dove into them when we got back from the running out on the lake. So really a huge 4th of July tradition for us for the past 8 years. John, what are you doing, man?
Just pretty much relaxing. I'm actually dog sitting tomorrow for my mom and my stepdad, so they can go to the family 4th party.
What kind of dog? What's the
a
dog's name? Like, we got to hear
Fred.
more. All right.
Fred the dog.
He's a Cocker Spaniel.
They trust you with him?
Oh yeah, he's cool. He's easy to watch. He's the friendliest dog. He's quiet. He's
That's
just-
cool.
Yeah. Just going to be me and Fred, some cold ones. I'm going to watch the Phils while they're at the bar. Try not to tear the place up. I know you're watching. I like my steak well done, as you know. But yeah, just going to hang out. Take my Xbox over, play some show before the Phillies game. But I got a couple games on the menu I want to check out too.
Cool.
Hopefully watch the Mets and Yankees lose.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, keep it simple tomorrow. Family barbecue, so it should be nice. I'll have some beers and some burgers. Watch the game with my dad and my godfather, my brother, brother-in-law. We'll all be
Jose?
with- Jose, yeah,
Okay.
Jose.
Oh, cool.
We're going to Jose's
I
house.
love
Yeah.
Jose.
Yeah, so we'll be with Jose. He'll be cooking for us tomorrow, and he'll be dropping beers down our guzzles, all day. But I do want to talk about something else I got coming up
Yeah.
after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
So my daughter, Megan, plays softball for the Phillies Urban Youth Academy. Shout out to the 16U. They won the championship this week down in Delaware.
Yep, awesome.
Meg had a 3-run homer over the center field fence in the one game, and she was the winning pitcher in the semifinal game and the eventual championship game. So she had one hell of a weekend. And as part of playing for the Phillies Youth Academy, she was selected to represent the Phillies at the Jenny Finch Classic out in Seattle over the All-Star break. So my wife and I are going to be traveling to Seattle on Thursday to go watch Meg and her teammates play against other Urban Youth Academy teams. We were lucky to be in LA last year for the same event. Oklahoma the year before with Meg.
Nice.
And my daughter Sarah got to play in Cleveland a couple years back. So we've been very fortunate to travel around and get to watch the girls play.
So what games do you get to see there, and what do you get to do when you're at this All-Star experience?
So-
because I think this is awesome.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Meg, it's an all expense paid trip for Meg through MLB. They actually take our kids and take them away from us. We really don't get to see them. They fall under MLB security while they're out
Wow.
there. So as far as the girls go, they will get the VIP treatment. They get to go to any MLB event that's out there. The play ball, MLB play ball, they'll have free tickets to get to that. They'll be at the Home Run Derby in the stadium at the Home Run Derby. They'll be at the Futures game and the Celebrity Softball game, as well as playing in the tournament. So that their schedule, they have 2 games scheduled for Friday, 1 game Saturday, 1 game Sunday. If they finish in the top 2 of their bracket, they'll play Sunday night for a semifinal game. And then the championship is Monday at the University of Washington Huskies Stadium.
Nice.
So we'll definitely be going to the championship game, because I really want to see that stadium. Check that out. So that's really cool. It's going to be a cool event. And then as parents that are traveling, there's probably right now I know of about 7, maybe 6 or 7 sets of parents that are going out. We'll do some sightseeing while we're out there. We're definitely going to buy tickets to see the celebrity game, so we can get inside the stadium and check out at the Mariners ballpark and be in there. We'll buy some tickets to the live MLB events, and then we'll do the typical tourist attractions, the Space Needle and the giant Starbucks my wife wants to see, so she can be in the giant
Gotta
Starbucks.
catch a fish.
We're going to catch the fish.
Gotta
We're
catch the
talking about
fish.
that. I heard about
What about the
Fred-
Seahawks Stadium? You a
I'm
big
gonna
Seahawks
I'm
fan?
gonna go piss on the Seahawks Stadium.
He might skip that.
Yeah, fuck those birds. We know who the real fucking birds are, baby. Yeah, so I'm gonna piss on the Seahawks Stadium. But we're looking forward to going out there. It's really just exciting to get to see Meg participate in these kind of events. And
So Meg, get Jenny on.
Yeah.
And, that would be really cool. So
Yeah.
tell her about the podcast.
I had to buy Meg. We're probably gonna have to buy her new Crocs because she gets Jenny Finch to sign her Crocs every time we see her. So we'll need new Crocs for Jenny Finch. But yeah, no. So thanks for letting me talk about that. And
That's cool.
brag about my
That's
kid a little.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Meg, I could not be more proud when your dad texted me and told me this stuff. Awesome stuff. Complete game shutout, home run. So, when she hits the home run, who gets the ball?
My
Is it
daughter,
dad? Is
Sarah,
it mom?
my daughter
Okay.
Sarah was there. She ran and got
Okay,
it.
because I'm like, that's
that was her
awesome.
second one of the season. So we have both balls that she hit over the fence.
You're going to have to get one of those home plates that has a bunch
Yeah,
of sounds.
I'm hoping that, and hopefully we fill
Fill it
that
up.
thing up.
Fill
You know,
it
she's
up.
got a couple more years left to play.
That's awesome.
She's got some pop, so
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it's fun.
So I'm going over tomorrow. Well, my wife, daughter are going over, Sig and Alex. So they have a 4th of July party. They're home brewers, and I'm in the group, and it's so awesome. There's all these different beers that they home brewed that are going to be part of it. And I've already kind of talked about, but I'm the DPF Garage Beer Bar is going to be on the agenda. And they're also making an Independence Brew, who is in honor of Zig's dad, which is, I think it's an awesome idea. I'm so excited to try it. We're bringing something, and, I have to keep it a secret because they don't know yet, but I'm bringing alcohol too, but there's something else secret. And it's whether this is good or bad, I'm actually going to make it. Me and my daughter are going to make it tomorrow, so I'm really excited about that.
Fuck the Mac pie or something like that.
Before we sign off, I want to kind of look through some of the comments here, and Zig and Alex are always on here. Cindy, thank you so much. There's a lot today, so I'm going to kind of talk about towards the end. And what was interesting is I don't know, Chris, if it's your wife or my wife, but they're on the Drunk Phil's fans wives site, so go follow them. And they're saying DPF is fire. And, look at our hot husbands killing it. So I have to assume that this is not my wife and it's yours, unless my wife's drinking. So it's possible. I don't know. But I was and they may mean hot because, so if there's anyone who's watching or listening who's an HVAC person, the garage is hot as shit. I have a goddamn, something sitting on my balls because I'm so goddamn hot, and I have this that I was been holding under there. We need heat. We need air conditioning in here bad. John is sweating. Chris is sweating. I'm sweating. It's been terrible.
Not conducive to fat guys, that's for sure.
Next week we'll be live from Salvin Rusty's.
So Zig and Alex, their dog's name is Boomer, and they named their brewing company after their dog, Boomer Brewing. I have not yet met Boomer, so I'm super excited tomorrow to meet Boomer. So I appreciate them being on. Wow, and even the wives are saying no, we're smoking all day. I don't know,
they must
cigars.
They're smoking all day.
Smoking whatever they have. I want one of it.
They must want something. I don't know.
Oh, that could be it. See, I'm not smart like that. I'm just thinking wow, that's really cool to
It's a trap.
It's like
that Star
It is
Wars
a trap.
movie.
It is a trap. Thanks for joining us. I had a lot of fun, Mike. I can't wait for you to be here in this garage. I think that's going to be one of our best podcasts when all, 4, Rob couldn't be on today, but all 5 of us assemble goddamn Voltron. Look for us on episode 4. And, the sign off is the same. So as usual, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Fuck Joe Carter and fuck the Mets. All right, boys.
All right.
We're out.
Thank you.